Now, for more on Trump and his war against Harvard, for lack of a better term, we're joined by David Super. He's Carmack Waterhouse Professor of Law and Economics at Georgetown University. David, welcome. Thanks for taking time to chat.
Thanks for having me.
Now, Harvard's response was quick, emphatic, saying stopping the flow of international students would, quote, destabilize its very existence. Now, considering the famed university draws top scholars from all over the world, they seem to have a pretty good argument. Talk to us about what the Trump administration wanted to do and Harvard's core argument.
Well, Harvard sees this as part of a general battle between itself and the administration as more retaliation that it did not agree to the extensive demands the administration made to it earlier this year. The university had its research funding cut off by the administration because it wouldn't change its internal organization the way the administration wants. And the Harvard lawsuit basically says this action is more of the same. It's an attempt to make Harvard subsidiary to the federal government.
What's at stake here?
Really at stake is the independence of higher education in the United States, as well as the U.S.'s position as a global leader in education. We have people coming to our schools because they're thought to be independent, strong schools. If the Trump administration has its way and is able to force Harvard to do whatever the current government demands, I think international students will go elsewhere.
David, Harvard arguing that this is nothing more than sour grapes, retribution from a thin-skinned president. Let's look at the global reaction, what this means for existing partnerships and students who have already begun their studies there, especially those from China.
This is disastrous. Even if there were grounds for acting against Harvard, any responsible administration would phase out its role, would not affect current students or students who've already applied, and would do something in the future. This abrupt move is clearly designed to do as much damage as possible to Harvard and to scare students away from Harvard.
I'm curious about the financial impact, the way you see that playing out. And secondly, more about this lawsuit, because it's not over. The administration's still targeting Harvard, and they have to go back to court again.
Yes, all the lawsuits between Harvard and the administration are still very much open, but the basis for this action is extremely flimsy. There are regulations for how you can withdraw this sort of a license. They didn't even attempt to follow them. There are plausible grounds. Secretary Noem didn't cite any thing that is legitimate under the statute. So I don't think the administration has much chance in this case. And I expect that as a result, the administration will be more cautious in pursuing other universities in the future.
David, quickly, is this giving the United States a black eye, especially from international perspective? Because this is where the greatest minds have always come and generated wonderful ideas and went on to do so much, not just for the United States, but globally.
Oh, absolutely. This is completely disastrous. I'm sure there will be students who think better of coming to Harvard or even of coming to the United States as a result, which will be a loss for those students and a loss for these universities and for this country. We're giving up voluntarily an area of global leadership that we worked decades to build.